right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the den. It's been a little while since I made a video. I got to reconnect with a good friend of mine back when our media days. We ain't gonna be naming names of companies, but back in our media days when we were going to cons and we were hitting up all these gaming conventions and recording together. It was it was a good time back in the day. But it's been so long. His name, we got two Michaels here on. Introduce yourself. It's been so long
Hello.
since I've seen you, man.
Hello. um, yeah. I'm Michael.
You've done so much though. Talk about a little bit of like the media stuff that you were doing. You
Um,
busted your ass, bro.
I used to go to a lot of conventions, talk to all sorts of celebrity personalities, as well as artists, comic writers, a few, not too many. I've done a lot of press sharing, um,
You were
game
killing
reviews.
it, dog. You were killing it, dog.
Yeah, a
And
bit
then
rusty,
and
but
then you were
I
traveling a
enjoyed it.
lot too, man. How was the traveling for you on your end?
It wasn't bad. I would make the most of it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
okay, fun fact, what I used to do is if there was a new album coming out
Mhm.
or something, because I don't like listening to repetitive music after so much. It tends to get tedious and boring. I'll put on a new album and I'll make
Mhm.
that like, all right, this is what's the 2 hours it's gonna be. Or this
Yeah.
is I'll listen through it one playthrough and then I'll listen to it a second playthrough to see if I really enjoy this album or not.
Right, right, right. Okay, okay. Yeah, no, that's. But you did so much more. I just remember when we were working together. Completely different, separate, like almost like a department, right? Because you did one thing and I did another thing. I was more into the gaming side. I just remember, man, you as far as you and the team that you had were just pumping out content. Like I was like, I didn't know how the fuck y'all were doing that on a weekly basis, just pumping, pumping, pumping.
Oh, it
But
was tiring.
but we are here now. Now you're in. I feel like we've all grown from all that. And what we're here today is for one of the most amazing Godzilla films that I have seen in a while.
It was.
Would you agree?
I would definitely agree. Yes, like, yes.
It was interesting. It was interesting. I saw the trailers. You know how these international films go, man. They come in for like a weekend and then they're gone, right? And then it's really hard to find, or you have to look at like some of those back sites. I don't want to say that you should be downloading anything illegal, but sometimes you got to go to those extent, and we don't see those films for a little while. But I'm glad that I was able to make this one. When did you see it? The
I
day?
saw it Friday night. No, yeah,
Okay,
Friday night, I think. Yes.
Friday night. Friday night. Yeah, I went with my daughter. I went with my daughter and her boyfriend, and we just went to go. I was like, she knows that I'm a big Godzilla fan. She wanted to be able to hang out and do her own thing, so I was like, okay, cool. But going into it, I didn't really know too much. I didn't really just read the story. Did you kind of go in blind too?
Yeah, Chrissy, my girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
she saw one trailer and it was just the first trailer that came out maybe 3 months ago or so. And this whole week she's like, let's watch one that's updated that came out maybe this week to see a little bit more. And I kept telling her, I was like, no, no, I'm gonna do this blindly because I I like Godzilla, but I've never seen none of the classics. My Godzilla that I know is what I guess today says is trash. Just
Right.
Godzilla 2000, that New York one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? You're right. You are right. I think that is the first time that I actually was introduced to Godzilla. Huh. I didn't even put that together, man. Yeah, it was. It's an interesting one, but it is part of the Godzilla world.
Yeah.
Multiverse. I kind of feel like the design of what they were kind of giving us in these trailers resembled more of the that one movie, Godzilla and Space Godzilla. Do you remember that one?
I want to say I think so.
Okay. The design looked more on point with what I was looking at when they actually showed him in this film. In this film, it was, I guess when he's on the island. Okay, so just to kind of let everybody know, I'm pretty sure we're just gonna go ahead and go into spoilers. Like I'm not too big on kind of holding things back, so we're just gonna go into spoilers. As far as the characters go, the characters I think did a really good job at the acting. I think
Yeah.
some of it maybe at one point in time it was like kind of overboard, but it was also like, well, that's a Toho film. I mean, what'd you think of the acting?
I thought the acting was great. There were some times where things felt a little too elaborated,
Mm.
where it's starting to feel like, okay, is this an anime? But
Right, right, right.
but it did do justice for the fact that, because as I was complaining about that in the car, or not really nitpicking, I would say,
Mhm.
Chrissy was like, "You got to remember the time period, though. Like some of these things were new, and like they were trying to get it across so everyone understood."
It
I
was
was like,
World War
"Okay,
II, right? Right.
okay."
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, okay, so this guy, so what was his last name? Shikishima. I kind of have it up right here just to kind of as a reference. Shikishima, which is the main character, the main male character, he was a kamikaze pilot. He said, "Nah, fuck this," deserted his shit, and they're kind of laying down for the night. Him and a crew of mechanics there, and this monster comes in. Now, at first, I didn't really recognize it. I mean, did you even recognize it at first? It looked like Godzilla, but then at the same time, I was like, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah, yeah. At first, I thought like, okay, maybe this is the antagonist.
Right. Right, right. It looked different. It looked more like a T Rex, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It did. The head shape was a little bit odd. I don't know, but it was smaller. It was definitely smaller in comparison. And man, it is some gruesome moments went on. I mean, it's not severely blood and gore, would you say? I mean,
no, I would say
no.
just more action, thrill, drama.
I mean, when those jaws clamped on those guys, I felt
Yeah,
it. I was like, oh my god. Especially that last one that was running towards the plane. Go, I'll distract him, and immediately, boom! I was
yeah.
like, oh my god, what just happened here? Uh, what else in that scene? I guess it was the
Um,
trauma,
yeah, pretty much, pretty much. Uh,
PTSD.
PTSD, just everyone getting. I like how it picked up so fast.
It did. It
It
did.
picked up very fast. Like it just like, here's the character. All right, let's get into it, and like we could fill you in along the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now again, by the time that this is going on, he goes back home, right? He's going back home, and clearly he's a deserter. He's again a kamikaze pilot. So those who are not familiar with kamikaze pilots, that's it. You've signed your life away. That's how it used to be back in the day, and they did anything that they could so that they can win. They need to be able to win the war. Um, so he deserted his post. He's coming back home, and it turns out the war has come to his home. I mean, it's gone. His parents are gone. People in his village are gone. I mean, it was pretty devastating.
Yeah, it sets a good tone. Well, not a good tone, but it sets the tone.
It does. It does. And it's pretty dark. And then of course the neighbor, she knows that he also was supposed to be a kamikaze pilot. And when it took her a second, didn't it? I think it took her like a second to realize like, aren't you supposed to be dead?
Yeah,
Right? And then she was like, "What the fuck are you doing? It's people like you on why we're losing. Like why we can't win this war."
yeah. Like she pretty much faults him that like this is why our town looks like this.
Right, right. And then it's kind of weird. He starts kind of living there, and time goes on. I was trying to keep up with the time, but I was also trying to process what was going on. I felt it was I don't know. I think it was like a year that went by. Was it?
Yeah. Okay. So from the island to the town, I think a year goes by. Correct?
I
Because
think
it starts in what, 41?
I think it starts in 41.
Either
Let me
41
see.
or 42.
I'll look it up right now. Let's see. Godzilla minus one. year. No. It's World War II. Oh, wait. So I can just look up World War II. 45. It's 45. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
39 to 45, but I think it takes place around 40 or 41, like towards the end of the war.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we're looking at right now. So then, yeah, I think you're right. I think it's about a year. And then he's going through the supermarket, and this, it was the most random shit ever. I felt so bad for him. This random, these cops start saying, like, thief, thief, stop her. And she's running. And as she's running, she has something in her hand. You can't really tell what it was. Like, I thought it was food at first.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, maybe it's like a sack of potatoes or bread in there.
And he gets in the way. Like, he was like, I'm gonna stop you. Looks at her. She looks at him. Looks down. Gives her the whatever the fuck it was. And she takes off the other way. So I was like, what the fuck is it? He opens it up. It's a fucking baby. Dog. Like, and not only that, the cops just run. I'm still a little bit confused on why she took off. Why was she running? I can't remember.
That's what I don't understand, because I thought the item she was stealing was I didn't think it was a baby at first, but I thought it was an item that she was holding, not a baby. So it
Right.
makes me like, did she just pocket it? What was it that she took?
Right. And then when the baby was there, I was like, this bitch stole a baby. I was like, no fucking way, you stole a baby. And then the cops just passed right on by, so I was like, did she really steal the baby? What the fuck is going on here? So many questions. But the dude was like, I guess I'm gonna chill here for like 30 hours. I don't know. And and then what happened?
As he leaves the town market, and she's just creeped up all behind it.
That's right. That's right. She's all creeping and shit, and he's like, I've been here with your kid. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And she was like, well, it's kind of obvious if I walk back out there in front of everybody, they're going to know who I am, and they're just going to tell the cops again. I waited for your ass like 50 hours, and now you get up? Get the fuck out of here. So disoriented. And then, doesn't even know her. She was about to go back on the streets, and he's like, you can come home with me if you want. That way, I didn't understand that.
I know it was like there was just some unsaid, like, you want to be roommates.
I mean, I guess I kind of understand from a psychological point, right? Like, it's like, my parents are gone, my friends are gone, my mechanics, which were also my good friend, my right hand men for my plane and shit, are gone. I just witnessed a giant fucking lizard monster come out of nowhere and eat them all. And this random chick has nowhere to go. I think I would rather take her in and just get my mind off of everything else, right? I mean, she ain't got nowhere to go, so why don't you come and chill out and hang out? But it is a different time, so it's not like one of those creepy, hey, move in, we're gonna like mess around and shit like that. It's like, in those days, there was more,
like desperation to survive.
Right,
And like,
right.
let's stick together to help each other out for the better.
Right, exactly. And that's exactly how I felt once he immediately kind of brought in. That was a good way that you explained it. Perfect, actually. And so then he found a job, or they were still kind of living off paycheck to paycheck. The chick next door that initially was like, you're supposed to be dead, right, is like, where'd the kid come from? How long are they going to be here? And then in a matter of 300, like it was a 360-degree movement, she was like, here's some fucking money for the kids, and here's some rice, and here's some shit. I was like, this fucking chick, like, what are you doing? I was like, oh my God. But I feel it, again, like you stated. I guess seeing it like that, they got to help each other out, even though they're in a rut. So, and then what happened? I think another year goes by.
Yeah, a year goes by. You start seeing that they're turning their shack more. It's still shack, but they're trying to make it into a home. They're trying to make it more comfortable.
Right, 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 right. And then, oh, he gets a new job, right? He gets a
Yeah,
new job. Oh, no, no, no,
yeah,
no, no. Well, was it? Yes, no, yes. He gets a
yeah,
new job. He gets a new job. And that job consists of going back out into the waters. There is damage. There could be liability, and of course, they're living together for about the past year. So, at this point in time, I thought they were officially together. I just assumed.
yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
Hey, what are you doing? I just assumed that they were together. Um, but and the reason why you assume that is, one, she's definitely dressed a lot more appropriately. Um, she's not in rags, right? She's not in rags. The baby has clothes on. The baby's growing, and he's coming in, making money, giving her money at the same time, trying to provide. And then that's when I was like, oh, they have to be together then. Like, that's makes sense. Apparently, this whole time they weren't. So I was like,
Yeah,
okay. Uh, so then he gets his dope ass job, and it requires him to go on a rig. There is some possible liability that he may get hurt. She freaks out. Lots of emotion. Again, that's
yeah,
what made me believe that they were together. There was a lot of emotion from her.
yeah. Like she sets the tone that like she cares for him, and he
Mm-hmm.
sets this tone that like he's a provider, and it's like they've this just orphan. Everyone's an orphan in this family or
Mm-hmm.
makeshift family.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like they've
And
all lost something.
yeah, right, right. And you're just trying to figure out what their relationships. So then he was like, "Look, I'm gonna go out there. It's not like the kamikaze missions. It's completely safe, or it's safer, and I know what I'm doing." So he gets this job, makes a bunch of fucking dough.
Mhm.
Um, do we see Godzilla again? When do we see Godzilla? We're still not
Um,
at Godzilla. I know that we've been talking about a lot of people recently, but I gotta say this story. The story was very entertaining. I know it may sound a little bit boring, but we're not the actual movie.
like I think we see Godzilla on either his second or third outing on the boat.
Okay, okay, right. So he's making a bunch of money. He's coming back. His new crewmates. Oh, that's right. That's right. We get to a point where they actually. I think this is actually the last part for the humans before we start seeing more of Godzilla. So basically, his crewmates come in. They invite him over for food. They're having drinks. They're having food. They're joking. They're laughing. And then one of them calls her his wife. And then
Yeah,
that's where she was like, no, unfortunately, I'm not. And then they were like, what?
yeah. And then they're like, "Well, is that at least is that well, y'all have a child?" And he's like, "That's not even our child."
No, 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 no. That's not even our child. That's not even her child. That's fucking hilarious. Oh my god, the situation that they were probably thinking that they were in. Oh my god. Like, we're having drinks with this fucking guy? Like, what the fuck? That's exactly what was happening. So at this point in time, how are you feeling about the movie?
I think they're doing a great job of not only setting up a Godzilla film, but keeping a story, an entertaining story, to go along with it. Rather than, in a movie where there's such monster just causing chaos in the city, usually the story's pushed to the background where it's not that well developed. It's just like we got to defeat the monster. This actually had a very well written story with it. It made you care for the characters. Not
Mm-hmm.
that you would in another film, but it was deeper.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure. You know what? I found it. I found it. I found the picture of Godzilla and Space Godzilla. Let's see. So this is the design that I feel kind of looks similar to it. I'm sharing my screen. I don't know if you can end up
Oh
seeing
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay. I feel like this design is more what we saw in the movie, just a lot more animated as far
Yeah.
as the final.
Are we talking about the space one?
No, no, no,
Or
not the space one,
oh, okay, the
the
one on
one
the
on the
right.
right. Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how I felt like this one looked like, or felt like.
His arms seem smaller though.
Yes. More like a yeah, more like a T-Rex. More like a T-Rex. But so okay, so we're at this point again. She wants to get married. He's at this point in time. This I think it's what 2-3 years go by. This is already
Yes.
2 or 3 years. They've been living together. He's been making good money. He's been giving her money. He's been supporting the child. He's on this fucking path. And you again one more time. They're together. No, at this point in time, at this moment, when they were like, "Oh, that's your wife," he was like, "No, that's not what I want. That's not what I want at all. I'm
Yeah.
just here to help out." So then the tone changes, and then we finally get to see this Godzilla. I mean, it was fucking, it was insane. I mean, introductions. What do you think?
Introductions were set up very well. Very well.
I didn't. So Godzilla show. So the animation. Okay, so you were talking about some CGI. Let's talk about the CGI when we saw him. What did you think about the CGI? I know we kind of touched base on it before,
I,
but
I thought the CGI was not the best, but it still shines amongst it all. I don't
it.
think it's the star of the thing, but it is great. It could be better, but it was good for the budget film that it was.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you know that so far these ratings on this movie, just to kind of take a moment, are all like 90% right now. 90%, even for the I think it's 96 for Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes reviews are still kind of low, but as
Mhm.
far as audience wise is 98%. So you're right. The CGI, I feel it's not the best at times, especially the fast movement
Yes,
parts.
yes.
Very fast movement. Yes, you are gonna see Godzilla actually moving at high speeds for how big he is. He's moving very fast, and that's when you actually see the imperfections in the CGI, but
Yeah.
more in the still moments where he's like walking through Tokyo, like really slowly. I think
Mhm.
those shined a little bit more. I think.
Yes, and it builds a nice intimidation.
Mhm.
Like this is to be feared.
It is to be feared. I mean, it's completely something different. I mean, completely something new. I mean, we'll just go straight to, fuck it. You know, this introduction, we might as well just go straight into the battle with Godzilla. I mean, we have the army, right? The army's trying to fucking take that motherfucker down. We get the army, we get Heat Ray, we get everything that
We
I
think,
feel like the original Toho was.
yeah.
I mean, what more are you gonna say on the battle? Like when we finally started confronting.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Battle in the ocean or battle in the city?
You know what? No. That there was a scene before that. It
Yeah,
was the city,
there was the ocean when they're dropping mines,
right?
and that's when they first learn of his regeneration.
Oh my
Then
god! Can you talk about that? Can you talk about that? Oh my god!
that was impressive and scary as shit.
Oh my god! Like I've seen him regenerate in certain cartoons or certain not even cartoons, but animations and stuff, but not like that. So this bomb, they're trying to take down Godzilla. You're right. They got some of these bombs. They're like mines in a way, but they have to manually shoot them off. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, yeah. It's not like one of those contact it touches and it blows up. No. They miss a couple times, but one of them gets inside of his mouth, right? Right in
Mhm.
directly in his mouth. And you know what? That scene right there, I feel wasn't all CGI.
No.
When he's just cruising,
Yeah,
right? And then the bomb that didn't like some of it a lot of it looked like CGI, but at the same time some of it looked pretty realistic, like right around the teeth area.
yes,
I mean, that was very well detailed.
it was.
Very well. Um so anyways, so they he blasts it, he shoots the gun at it. It explodes. Big old puff of smoke. I'm sitting there thinking that didn't do shit to him. That's what I thought. I was like, it's a fucking
Yeah.
giant lizard man. I was like, they didn't do shit. No, like his fucking eye, his fucking upper half of his mouth, his jaw down here was blasted wide open. You think he's dead, and then what happens?
Just quick regeneration. You start seeing as fast as it was gone, come back.
As fast as it was gone, it came back, almost like the Hulk. The Hulk. Like
Yeah.
whenever he gets hit or he gets severely damaged, he immediately regenerates. Very close to that. Very close to that. Oh my god, that was a terrifying moment. I've never seen them do that for Godzilla before. Never. But so we're at that scene. I guess we move on. The second interaction with Godzilla at this point in time,
is
the
is
town.
the town? Yeah, yeah.
It's the town. It's the scene. It's the
Yes.
scene where we finally. Well, we'll get into it. We'll get you to explain that part. You'll explain that. Introduce us to this scene.
Okay. His roommate is heading off to work. Well, no, let's back up. They know that Godzilla's trajectory is for that town, or the bay of that town. They just don't know when he's gonna hit. They have daisy chain mines rigged up around the bay. He gets through those. At that point, like, you see everyone's face like, oh shit. He gets to town. Once he gets to the town, his roommate is on a train to work. She sees everyone frantically looking to one side of the train. As she turns around, she's like, is that Godzilla? And it's like, no shit.
He was like, it's the thing that he's been talking about.
And okay, for the time, because I was impressed how fast it happened, that train hit its brakes pretty damn good. Because Godzilla tosses a train in front of them, and the way it halted so perfectly, I was like, don't trains usually like have a drag?
Right, there's a huge drag. I was like, we're in 1940. If brakes are that good in 1940, where did we go wrong? Emergency stop. It was like a car.
Yeah. That was the brake pads.
Ridiculous.
Preceding Godzilla then bites the train. No. Yes. Wait, does he
Yeah.
grab it and bite it? Or is he just
No, he comes up over, he bites it first, and then he's holding on to it. He's holding on to it like a dog with a bone.
Yeah. And the wife is dangling over the town for a little bit, but then as he's moving, dangles her over the ocean.
Michael, that's not his wife. Get it straight.
Yeah, that's right. His roommate. He falls into the water, and what the hell happens from there? What happens from there?
Falls into
I think
the
that's
water.
when they bring out the tanks. They bring out the tanks. Is it when they bring out the
Oh
tanks?
my god, don't even talk about the fucking CGI on the tanks. It was
Yeah.
like Legos. I was like, what? Oh my god, did we partner with Legos for this film? It was the most shittiest tanks of all. That is not. Let me look at a World War II Japan. Is it Japan? Hold on.
Yes.
World War II Japan tank. Oh my god. I'm gonna show you these tanks and you're gonna be like, what the fuck did we just see? I'll fucking show you these tanks. They're so small too. Oh, maybe that's why they look like that. Oh. I still think it's too small.
It is. They were very small.
Here we go. All right, I'm gonna show you this shit. Okay, here we go. This is a World War II tank from Japan. So if they stand on top of them, they're still pretty tall. Like the human inside of it, it's like from bottom to top. But they're pretty small. But this is more detailed than what we fucking got.
Yeah. Right. I feel like they were just they were like, give us a tank, we'll accept first draft.
First draft. That was it. That's all it took. Here's your 20 million yen. Your first draft. Fucking A. Oh my god. I can't believe I thought I was gonna forget about those tanks until you fucking brought them up. Oh my god. So yeah, the tanks come in. They try to shoot at Godzilla. Pissed him off. Oh, finish up. Finish up. You're
Uh,
good.
as that happens, your main character now remembers that his roommate is at work or is heading to work. Runs through the town. As he's running through the town, people are freaking out, tripping over each other. He ends up bumping into her in the middle of the street, and I want to say Godzilla is pretty much like right on their ass, if I remember correctly.
What was yeah, they weren't too far. He was like coming around the corner or some shit like that. The tanks come in and they start firing, and then
that's what happens, because he was about to step on them, then the tanks start firing, and that's when
it was a pretty quick reaction too, because he was like, he got hit hard and he was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. And so when that happens, Godzilla's like, all right, bet. And charges up the ray.
The charge. Talk about the charge. Talk about the charge.
Now, when I've never seen a Godzilla heat ray, I've seen the ones in the new films, and like they're pretty devastating. But the way this comes off, like the charge up, and then he just shoots dead center town, and this thing just waves. Like, get a good, enjoy your town for the last view that you got of it.
It was like
it has to be some of the most like anime thing that happens. The roommate and the other one, they're running down the street. Mind you, they're coming across the alleyway when this wave just happened, and it's as it's happening, and she pushes him into the alleyway, sacrificing herself, and just gets launched. Like,
and it's a slow-mo moment.
It is a slow-mo moment, and she just gets fucking launched.
Oh my god. Like, and it was one of those scenes where it wasn't as quick. Like, you see some of them, like even in how can we compare it? Like it's Superman Man of Steel. Man of Steel, where the
where he shoots his eye?
Where the terraforming is coming in, and it's quick. Like it raises up and then it just completely squashes them. Like, you don't see them die or anything like that, but you know that they're dead. It's a real quick death. In this type of scene, it's so slow-mo, you see her face like, I'm dead. That's it.
Yeah.
And it tears, I feel it tears the audience apart, because even though that he wasn't committed to her, to this point she was still that committed to give up her own life to keep him alive. And you got to remember, he still has PTSD from this monster that's now killing everything in his town. Okay? And now has taken the woman that he states that he doesn't love, but at this point in time you see it. He does. He absolutely loves her, but has explained that he can't be with her because he still has unfinished business with Godzilla.
Yes.
And it's heartbreaking, because again, he's lost everything, and now he's about to lose this too. Well, not about to, he did lose this. Yeah. The only thing that he has left is the kid.
Yep.
That's it. So then what happens next? Where are we at?
Town's destroyed.
She's dead.
She's dead. He goes back home. Raises the kid for,
I think it was another year.
I think it is another year. On his own, is working. One of his co-workers that's a scientist ends up talking to him at the bar, I think, after one day at work, and is like, we got a plan to take down Godzilla. You in? Come to this conference.
Let's go. Shit's about to go down.
So skipping a day or so, he goes to this town hall, of all these vets, and the scientist ends up putting on a demonstration that he has to possibly kill Godzilla.
Mhm.
And it is just probably the most over-explained thing is what I thought it was, but for
It
the
was.
time, like, it is
They
that
they
oh,
could
go
have said process,
ahead.
and we're in it like their country's gonna be able to understand it a lot faster than we are because we have to read through all this bullshit. Okay, when we could just be watching Godzilla just tear shit down.
Yeah,
Okay, and I think they even this guy came out was like basically so there's some mansplaining going on. All right, we had to be able to understand. I'm sorry, we had to be able to understand. That's what I felt. But so then we're at this part, and I'm just like, is it gonna fucking work? I've never heard of this plan. Like, I don't think I've heard of this plan in one of the older Godzilla films. Have you?
I don't think so. No.
I mean, we've had the the infamous bomb that takes out the oxygen, right? Which one's that one? Um,
Uh,
the
I'm
oxygen. I think it's like an oxygen bomb or something. Godzilla oxygen bomb. What is it called? The oxygen destroyer. So we've had the oxygen destroyer. We've had the humans try to convince Mothra to go take down Godzilla. We've had multiple different types of ways to try to kill Godzilla, but I think this is one of the ones that is more unique because I haven't seen this in a Godzilla film before.
it felt very
Fresh.
the plan felt very like this is the best you got. All right.
Right. And I mean, just to kind of go over the plan itself, the idea was to lower Godzilla in the middle of the ocean, the I guess like the deepest part of the ocean. I guess that's what it was.
Yeah.
Lower to the deepest part of the ocean, attach those buoys that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Then they would release. Was it? What was it? Was it nitrous oxide? Freon, some shit. Freon. Some type of freon, which then reacts in the water. Here I am acting like a scientist now. Which then reacts in the water and then drags them down to the very bottom.
Immediately.
We'll talk about that soon because in that moment, we'll talk about it. So drags him down, and then the plan is if that didn't kill him, then we would then reverse that, inflate it, pull him up at the same time, which then would cause a different pressure reaction, which would hopefully then make him explode or kill him or some shit.
Yeah.
That's all they had. Of course, there's plenty of dudes in there. They're like, is this gonna work for sure?
Yeah.
Because we don't want to risk our lives. And then what happens?
Yeah, they're like this is it. This
Right.
will work.
Right. And then what happens?
And then what's his name again? I keep calling him the main character, but I forget his
Right. I mean, it's a brand new film, bro.
name.
Shikishima. Just for reference, his partner was named Oishi.
So Shikishima gets upset, walks out like this ain't it.
Right.
And then the scientist stops him and is like, "We gotta try." And he then like reconfirms like, "Will this do it?" And scientist is like, "Again, we're gonna try."
I mean, people were like, if this is like a kamikaze mission, then I'm out. You know, they were
Yeah.
like, this is stupid. So then, right before everybody was about to dip out, he was like, look, it's not a kamikaze mission, but there's less risk than a kamikaze mission, clearly, because then you would just go in and die. But it's something that we can at least try to do to make sure that our civilization doesn't fucking die from this random ass fucking monster. By the way, again, we didn't really go over it. There was there was like a quick little preview on how he got created, right? It was real quick. Explosion, and then you hear Godzilla.
It was like some island training video almost. And that
Mm-hmm.
that was set up. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Kind of like the 2014. Was it 2014's
Yes,
Godzilla? Yeah,
yeah.
kind of like that. Kind of like that. Actually, kind of like the original, I think, from the 1954. I think that's how they ended up explaining it. I gotta go back and double check, but there's multiple explanations on how radiation has got him to where he's at this point in time. Um, so anyway, so we're doing this mission. They go out. They gotta wait. How many days? 10 days. They gotta wait 10 days.
Yeah.
It's because after that explosion, that's basically him saying, "This is mine now." Like, fuck you. Stay out of my shit. I gotta
Yep.
come back and double check my shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes back. Um, 10 days later, and then they don't. Okay, so what happened? Hold on. Let me think.
He uh Shish Shishishima
Which one? Shikishima.
Shikishima is now. I'm trying to remember how he got the idea or how it's set up, but when I chop it up, he ends up getting to a warehouse where they have a plane.
Oh yes, the plane.
Um, I think the scientist finds it for him. I can't remember. I
Like
think
it was like a secret. It was like a secret thing. Like, I found you some shit. Here's a plane. Here's a half-ass plane.
and from this, the scientist is like, or he's like, does it work? He's like, the scientist is like, no, it doesn't work. He's like, I need a mechanic. He's like, well, let me call my boy, or let me write him.
Mm-hmm.
Sends all these letters. Takes about maybe 2 or 3 days.
Oh shit! I think we missed. Okay, so we're gonna. Yeah, let me stop you there. So we did leave something out of the story. So at the beginning, this is actually at the beginning. So Godzilla comes in. We know that he kills his mechanics, right? But it turns out there's one mechanic left.
Mm-hmm.
The kamikaze dude was supposed to shoot Godzilla in the face, hoping that it would kill it. It would taking a chance. He he froze up. So then that's when Godzilla started attacking. Well, anyways, everybody dies. It's just him and this other mechanic. He wakes up and basically he blames him for everything. Like, you should have shot. Like, why the fuck didn't you shoot? So he blamed him for everybody else dying. Okay, now we can continue.
Okay, so the mechanic ends up finding him, finding where he lives, beats the crap out of him for a little bit, and he again
Shikishima.
explains to him like what's going on.
Or
that he
or,
needs
or 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 Koichi. Whichever one is easier.
Koichi, there we go. Koichi explains to him what's going on, that he needs his help, and he's like, I'm not gonna help you.
Yeah.
And they do this little banter dance for a bit, and then he ends up giving in, like, all right, I'll help you.
Yeah.
Um,
And he was a hard ass too.
yeah,
It was kind of, it was definitely, again, there, like you stated, a lot of anime moments, a lot of anime moments. But at the same time, I can't really say anime moments because those are Toho moments. I mean, Toho started. I mean, when was this? This was the Godzilla started back in 1954. And if you even watch the first Godzilla, it's very expression. Like, there's a lot of emotion. Like, Godzilla, or this dude is like doing this shit. Or it's Rodan. There's a lot of anime we call anime, but
yeah.
it's
For
always
them.
been there. It's always been there in Toho films for sure.
And it works. It works.
It does.
Like it adds the extra dramatization layer.
It does. It does. It does. I mean, you go back and try to watch original Godzilla films, it is very outdated. It's very outdated. You're gonna see a guy in a costume for sure. No, but as you go through and learn to love each film, you kind of get to where we're at, and when I'm a big Godzilla fan. I mean, I'm a bigger Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan, but I am a big Godzilla fan. So, they go through with this plan. I think the kamikaze. Oh, we're gonna give you this plane so you can distract Godzilla to go into the middle of the ocean.
Yes.
Right. And they thought that this special plane was probably, I think they stated, as like one of the fastest planes.
Yeah, it
They
was a
just need to fix it.
prototype. It
Yeah.
wasn't even put out.
Right. So the dude goes in. He's like, only you can do this. He said, fuck it. I'm going to help out. Fuck that monster. I'm going to kill Godzilla. I'm going to help out with this. So time goes on. It's almost like a Karate Kid. Dun, 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 you know,
Yeah.
we got to get this shit together. We got to get all this done. We got to get the parts here. We got to get. They put in the giant bomb. I mean, it's all good to go. So then, fast forward, everything's complete. He has to make a decision. He thinks he's going on a kamikaze mission.
Yeah.
Like, this is my redemption. So then what does he do back home, bro?
He's writing his farewells. I guess gets all his savings, gets the baby, passes it on over to the neighbor, and is like, "This is it." Like, he's pretty much like, "This is his. These are his final moments, his final acts. What he
Mm-hmm.
believes."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And and
And
and I will say it was, in a certain type of way, it was heartbreaking.
yeah,
Uh, I mean, I think that was his. Okay, you know how we have moments where we lose everything, or for him, right? He's lost everything, and somebody who has lost everything, sometimes there's those mental health issues, those possible I'm gonna harm myself situations, and he has an opportunity to do that and also get redemption for
yeah.
those who had lost. Um, speaking about those types of things, because I'm already on it, I'm just gonna kind of throw in a plug. I'm not sponsored by anything or anything like that, but we kind of discussed, or I've discussed my mental health with pretty much who's ever viewed my YouTube channel, my content and stuff like that. And I even talked about it with recently a little bit with you,
Yeah.
and PTSD. I'm diagnosed with PTSD, and I want to give a lot of props to the two companies that had helped me the most during those type of moments, and that would be Good Blend and Texas THC Doctor. I'm a big THC person, man. Like, I think it legitimately helps, and especially if you're legitimately needing some type of assistance. Dr. Shaw, he's one of the best ones. He's been in the medical field for so long. I think I pass my information on to plenty of people. And if you guys need anything like that, it's going to be texasthcdoctor.com. Whenever you talk to Dr. Shaw, just let them know DeltronZ or Michael sent you. They know me, and they'll be able to help you out and get approved. It's really easy to. Most people have PTSD. I mean, what can you speak on mental health, bro? I know that, and I'm not here to throw out your business or nothing like that, but I think everybody deals with some type of mental health.
Probably just social anxiety.
Yeah,
Social anxiety.
it's hard, man. It's
There
fucking
are times
hard.
where I am awkward in the room.
Yeah, and I felt the same way too. But when I started taking the THC that a Good Blend actually prescribes, because they're the actual dispensary themselves. I think I talked to you about Good Blend too. I talked to everybody about fucking Good Blend. They're just an amazing company. If you're looking to get approved, they can actually approve you as well. They'll hook you up with the doctor. I don't know them. I just know that I love Dr. Shaw and what he does, and he's so personal with things, and he cares about you. But when you go to goodblend.com, you're able to get approved, and you can start ordering from them right away. And they have from drinks to gummies to lotions to tinctures. No flower yet. I know some of y'all are probably looking for flower, but unfortunately they're not approved here in Texas yet. But check that out again, texasthcdoctor.com, and then goodblend.com, and get approved. Texas 2020. Um, Sorry, that was kind of random, Michael. I'm sorry. I'm a big mental health advocate. I really am. I really am. I want people to get better. Um, but yeah, so we're at this moment. We're at plan time, right? We're at plan
Yes,
time.
yes.
Ah, dude, we're plan time in. All right, set up the plan. Let's get to the plan.
Okay, so um, okay, plane's fixed.
Right.
Um,
He does
trying to
the
remember.
letter.
He
Okay, let
does
me
the
no
letter.
no yeah no. He does the letter. It's definitely a different time period because I was a little bit upset being a father myself. Dude, he just ditched the child while she was
Yeah,
sleeping. Like, oh, here's a letter with some money and some shit in it. You'll figure it out, and just took off. I mean, granted, the chick was next door. That's nice and all, but at least go tell her.
yeah. Like she's shared moments with you.
I mean, shit. So, anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was. What the fuck is going on? 1945.
Let me see. They got
The buoys. The buoys. We
the
had to get the
buoys are all
buoys.
set up outside the bay,
Mm-hmm.
and if I'm correct, they have one warship. If I remember correctly,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right. It starts
Okay.
with one, for sure.
They have
No, no, no,
one
no.
warship.
Two. Two, 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 two.
Oh
Wait.
yes, yeah. Is it one or two? It is two, if I'm correct. Because don't they watch the other one, correct?
I think so. I just remember when they were doing the buoys, they could they
The
I don't
warships.
know. I don't know. We'll just say two. We needed two anyways. I mean,
Yeah,
we'll just say two.
yeah.
I want to say four for some reason. I feel like there was four.
Oh, there was, but that was later in the fight, or not later in the fight, but earlier later on in the fight.
Okay, okay, then I'm tripping then. Okay, so then yes, there was two.
There was two, and then
Mm-hmm.
they were asking for assistance from someone who had extra warships, and then they ended up showing up, and then that's when four were on screen.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Was
I
it
see
four?
what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, it was four.
It was four. It was four. So basically, they kind of had to do like a wraparound Godzilla. So
Yeah,
yeah, they were able to distract him. Actually, you know what? He came into the city first. Can we talk about this? So he comes into the city first. I think it's part of Japan, right?
yeah,
Tokyo, Japan. So he comes into the city. I have to say that definitely felt like old school building breaking.
yeah.
Like, I mean, old school rampage type. Let's just tear down this building for nothing.
I like how strong they made his tail when he would do his tail whips.
Oh my god. Like it just dragged.
Hmm.
Dragged all the way around. And then the way that he just got into a building was just like literally pushed up his body against it and it just crushed everything. Oh, and then the animation when he got hit by when what is his name? Kiyoshi? Wait.
Yeah. Wait.
Shikishima. I like Shikishima. So the way that Shikishima came in that plane and just started hitting him, yo, his reaction was so quick.
Yeah.
I mean, the CGI was pretty good at that point in time. I mean, what else do you have to say in that section of the
And that
movie?
it was. I'm trying to remember it because
Oh,
I remember.
and then don't forget the reporters were on top of the building
Yeah, I
watching him.
thought that was so cool. It was cool as it was like, damn, y'all brave.
Yeah, they were. They were. I mean, it was a live session. There was basically 4 or 5 reporters up top on a building. They were reporting live for the city of Tokyo, um, and they're watching him tear down each and every building. And then he walks past the building. Was that what it was?
Yeah, he's destroying another building. They're watching it happen in front of them, and yeah, he passes them. He passes them as he's passing them. Of course, him just being a primitive monster, I think shoulders the building because I don't even think he's attacking the building that
No,
they're on.
no.
He
Like
kind
he
of like
just
just shoulder
passes
bumps,
it.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
And just
and that angle. Talk. I mean, I felt like I was there for a second.
what was there?
Like I was there. I felt
Oh
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
was
They
there.
really put you in it because of how like I want to call it how passionately the reporter was just like screaming into the mic of everything that was going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They really do. They really do. And again, the distance from where they were to where he was felt realistic at the same time. Like I was imagining myself on that ledge and actually seeing what they were seeing. Like the graphics, the CGI in that moment were pretty on point
Yeah.
visually.
Yes.
It did not feel like it was CGI for a couple moments. It felt real. It
It
felt
did.
real. Hmm. So then, distracts him. What happens next?
Um, is this when his plane comes in
I think so. The plane
and
comes
it starts
in.
shooting at him to
Yeah.
start luring him out?
Yeah. That's exactly what happens. Hmm.
Okay, so that reporter's building falls. His plane comes zooming by, ends up firing a couple rounds at him, and Godzilla is like tries to swipe him, like just trying to swipe a mosquito from what it looks like,
Yeah.
and he ends up following it from being pissed off for how it hit him.
Hmm.
Gets into the ocean. Once he gets to the ocean, that's when they begin initiating the full plan of trying to wrap the buoys around him. And I want to say the one warship starts firing at him. And
Wait. Hold on. Did we miss a scene?
did we?
I think we did. I think he was. Wasn't he charging up for another attack right before he got hit by one of the missiles?
I want to say yes. I want to say yes.
I think he was charging right before Shikishima hit him with that missile because I remember this moment and I know he was on land where he got hit and then turned and was like, "What the fuck was that?" And he was ramping up to blue.
Yeah. The
I think
second
that's what.
charge, the
Right.
second charge was on the final act when he's going towards him.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Um,
Okay, go for it.
I'm trying to remember how the warship's attack went. They're firing their artillery at him. He destroys one of them,
Right.
obliterates it, and as he's destroying that one, it fires that artillery shell into him, and that's when he backs up, gets pissed, and is now beginning his charge up.
Yes.
And everyone's looking at each other like
We're
this.
fucked.
Yeah, like
Like
this is it,
we are
right?
fucked. We know what this thing does. We're fucked.
And it honestly sets you up for that. Like, fuck, no one wins.
It was like, oh, this is it. I said this is it. I mean, so then what happened? Like, I don't think it doesn't go all the way through
um,
the charge.
the
Well, it
charge
does.
doesn't wait. As he's charging, is that when they activate the Freon?
Right. So the two ships, they have to collide, that way they can get a full circle around him, right?
Yeah.
And then it attaches to him. It like zips up and attaches to his waist. And
Mhm.
then yes, they hit the Freon and all you see again, he's charging. This was my moment. Like I was very surprised at what happened. He's charging, and then straight down like a fucking missile.
Yeah.
How many meters? Was it 1,500?
Yeah.
15,000? Was it
And like we
1,500?
set this up very well, just like putting you at the edge of your seat. Like that
Mm-hmm.
charge is happening at the same time where they're
Where's
just
it gonna
being
go?
reckless. They're like, we don't care if we're wrecking into the other ship. We just need to get his ass down.
Right. Like we don't know where that charge is gonna go, but all we know is that you're right. We gotta bring him down. It doesn't matter what we have to do. So he gets brought down. He's charging. Even when he's being dragged down, you see Godzilla struggling. Like, what the fuck is going on? It goes down 1,500 feet. It's either 1,500 or 15,000. I don't know. It as soon as it goes past, no, it's 1,500. You're right. 1,500. As soon as it goes past 1,500, I think it was about maybe 16 or 17.
Mhm.
Dead silence.
Yep.
He's all blue, he's all charged up, and just like a light switch, like that, he turns off. Like, I was like, oh, what the fuck just happened? What was your reaction?
It was like, oh shit. Like, all right, scientists, you pulled this shit off.
You pulled this shit off! I was
Like,
not
it
expecting
makes
it.
you like feel the plan. Like this shit was a risk, but okay, you pulled it through.
Hey, I was very impressed. So then I was like, okay, well, as we all know how Godzilla is, he's not that easy to fucking kill. You know, we know
Yeah.
that. So I didn't expect it to work anyways. I was like, this whole plan is gonna shit in their face. We're gonna get another monster coming in, and they're probably gonna fight it out, and that's it. That's what I originally thought was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, who did I? Okay, so before we go on, I heard rumors of another monster. Who did you hear was gonna be the other monster? Did you hear those rumors?
Oh no, no.
I heard that there was gonna
I
be
figured
other.
that there was gonna be another monster, just
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, all right, they usually like to background the people and just
Right.
make them like part of the destruction.
Right.
But I
Right.
like how they really centered on the people.
They
Like it
did.
was people versus him. There was no other monster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I had heard from some forums that I was watching is that he was supposed to go against that oh my god, what is his name? That turtle looking one. I always forget his name. He has like tusks. He's like a turtle. Movies. Hold on, let me look him up. It is
Gamera, Gamera, right?
Gamera. Yes, Gamera. Yes. So I heard that they were trying to set up for Godzilla versus Gamera. So I was
That would
like,
be
oh,
cool.
cool. Yeah, that would have been sick as fuck. Um, but yeah, again, I was like, okay, something else is gonna have to happen. There's no way that they can kill this guy. So they think they're in the clear. It fucking worked. Hooray!
Yeah.
Yay! Nope.
And
That motherfucker starts tugging.
yeah, like the what is it? On their pressure gauge, where I guess they had a wire line to that buoy,
Mhm.
the pressure gauge is coming back up to sea level. So that, or I think they see it shift. So that's how they knew there was still movement down there. And
Mhm.
so, like, fuck it, plan B. Let's rise them back up to sea level quick.
Right. Right.
So they
So
plan
and again, so we're at this point that okay, so that pressure difference didn't kill him. So we got to try the reverse pressure where it expands. That way he explodes.
yeah.
So here they are. They're rising him up. They're pulling him up. They inflate it. He's rising up. And then I think it's at 700 or 800 meters.
Hmm.
I think is where it comes to a complete halt. And it's because he's fighting back. Like he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, get the fuck off me. So you only have these two giant boats tugging. They said we got to try to pull him up the rest because if he doesn't go past that depth, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Keep in mind as he is rising, is it like what is it? Is it like ice or is it like oxygen? What is
That's,
it?
that's what I was wondering. I was wondering, like, is it because it looked like his okay when he was going down, it looked like I'm gonna call it scales. It looked like his scales were peeling, but as
Right.
he was going up, it looked like his scales were maybe freezing over or something.
Right. I
Like,
thought
or like, was it either his scales were freezing over, or like they were turning into dead skin or something? Like they're
some
whitening over.
shit. Some shit. I know, going down that far for sure. It's way colder down there. So I can understand like if it's freezing going down,
Mhm.
but coming back up, I guess I just don't understand the science of that. All I know is that when the pressure is different at a specific depth, it just completely changes. Like that's why we can't go so far down in the ocean, you
Yeah,
know. But anyways, it does this weird chemical reaction. It starts kind of bubbling, up and down, going both ways, either way. And so then they're like, "What the fuck are we gonna do? This dude is too strong. We gave it our all. I think. Oh, one of the cranes breaks, right?
yes, yes.
That was like, oh shit. That was an oh shit moment. Like, what are they gonna do now? And then what happens?
One of the cranes breaks. They do they end up bringing him up on his own, or does he come up on his own?
So he tries to no. So what happens is if I remember correctly, earlier in the story there was one guy that was kind of following one of the other
Yes,
uh,
they call they called him Kid. That's who you're referring
yeah,
to,
yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah. They called him Kid. Basically, he's just like this sidekick character, right? They told him to stay behind because they wanted to leave the future to him, right? Or the next generation to them. So they didn't want him to die. He was too young. So they
Yeah.
left him, but here they are, they're struggling, and he shows up out of nowhere. The kid shows up out of nowhere, and not only does it come with one boat, but he comes with like several. I mean, we're talking about dozens of other boats. Um, so then they hook their lines up to each and every boat, and then they continue to try to pull. And they're pulling and pulling and pulling, and then take it away.
As they're pulling and pulling to bring him up, um, he comes up, and this is that, like, well, what do we do from here? This is that final, like, everyone's looking at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Kids firing at him. Um, Nothing is succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
And Godzilla is finally giving that charge, and it's when he's giving this final charge, everyone's making eye contact of like, all right, well, it's that understood eye contact, like,
Yeah,
this is it.
because he does come back up. He does
Yeah.
come back up,
And
and that
as
charge, dude.
as he's charging, as it's getting up to his neck, it's on the edge of your seat moment. You see Koichi flying in, and his crew is torn up with emotion because they knew what he was doing, they just didn't know how he was going to do it.
Right.
um he kamikazes into Godzilla's mouth and blows Godzilla's mouth to hell.
Completely. Like
Yeah.
completely. Like it's gone. Like there's no more Godzilla because it was because of the bomb that they had put in. You know, we kind of discussed that there was like a last minute bomb.
Yeah.
This was going to be like a last minute thing. I do want to go back to that charge though. It was a different type of charge than the first heat ray. It was a pissed off
Yeah.
fucking Godzilla. 100% pissed off. It was almost like if you find one of the photos online, it was like his scales were even coming off of his body, like they were lifting at an angle, almost like how a cat flares up. You know how a cat flares up whenever
Yeah.
they're pissed off and
It's
shit
that
at
hard
another
to
cat.
attack.
It felt like that's how I took that scene. I was like, fuck, he's pissed. He's fucking pissed. But yeah, that bomb hits his head, his upper torso is pretty much gone. And then he starts like what, evaporating?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like
Like, yeah, just as you're describing it, that's the best way I could put it.
I mean evaporating, like it was like a Kingdom Hearts moment. It was a Kingdom Hearts moment. Random lights shooting outside of your body and shit, you know.
Like at first I thought that was like some sort of failsafe on his part. Like I thought he was about to inner explode. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, oh wow, this dude's about to like really pull some last stand shit on everyone.
I know, I know. I was like, what the fuck? And I said that worked? I mean, that worked. I mean, I've seen a lot of other things when it came to Godzilla, like trying to be taken down, but that worked. But again, this is like a brand new vision of Godzilla, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, it's definitely 70 years of an anniversary. So, surprise ending. Go ahead. No, I want you to talk about the surprise ending. I was so heartwarmed at the end.
So as you see Godzilla's mouth exploded, the camera pans to what's behind Godzilla, and you see Koichi with a parachute floating down. He ejected out of his plane. It was a prototype plane, and it had a seat ejector. All his crewmates are looking at him. They're all screaming with joy. He did it. Godzilla's starting to evaporate, and it's a warming moment of like, all right, hell yeah.
Yeah, we did it. We did. He got his, he got his happy ending. He was, and not only that, he got to live, right? He got to
Yeah.
live. And he got to defeat Godzilla. And then what happens?
And then, I want to say, we go to the next scene. He's at home, and his neighbor has a letter. and she gives that letter to him, and he quickly just runs off. Runs off. We don't know where he's running to, and he ends up getting to a town hospital. In this town hospital, he ends up finding out his roommate was alive.
Fuck.
Great full circle moment.
Oh my god! Everything worked out for him in the end. He got his revenge. He was able to make nice with the guy that didn't like him from the island. He got to get the girl, and he got to have his daughter, and he got to live. Oh my god.
Yep. But let's talk about something that I was thinking about all day yesterday.
Oh yeah. Okay, go.
When he was hugging his roommate, I couldn't tell if it was her hair on her neck or if it was something growing on her neck that was black.
Right.
And I believe, my theory, just a theory, I believe she is going to die in the next film because I think that's probably terrible radiation sickness.
That she's gonna have now.
Yeah, that she was too overexposed.
Okay. What if it's more of a mark, and she's one of those ones that can actually get in contact with Mothra?
Oh, that would be cool too.
That'd be fucking dope.
Mhm.
Like a random ability.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking sick.
That'd be really cool.
Now, there's no post-credit scenes, but there is an ending scene.
Yes.
Ending scene.
You see Godzilla's corpse. Not really a corpse, but like this you know it's Godzilla.
Right. It's a pound of flesh, but I don't, I would like to know what part of flesh is that? Like it has to be like a membrane. It has to be something that can actually live and survive.
Yeah.
To multiply.
And you see it floating down, but as it's floating down, you see it starting to regenerate. You see it adding on to itself.
Mm-hmm. So he's definitely he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back. This is one of those Avengers moments. Godzilla will return. So we got through the whole movie. What do you think? What do you think? What as a Godzilla standalone 70th anniversary? Where are you at with this film?
I'm all for it. Like, it has to be one of my top 4, top 3 favorite films this year. Like, I went in with like medium expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Medium to low expectations. I was used to the Godzilla versus Kong, the Bryan Cranston Godzilla, as well as that Godzilla 2000, where everyone's always like, "Oh, he's the defender of the city." That's what they always put him as.
Right.
Or he's defender of Earth. This totally like turned all that around, and it was all for the better. It was all for the better. I was so for this goddamn movie. I'm so for this goddamn movie.
Well, when Shin Godzilla came out, I saw the trailer and it looked really interesting. And I saw we talked about this prior, like how these international films they come in and then they're only here for like a weekend and then they're like gone. That's it. Yeah, I mean,
it's like come see it this week or you can't see it this.
Right. Shin Godzilla was definitely interesting. Did you ever see Shin Godzilla?
No.
Okay, so it was definitely a different tone. They definitely changed things up, in that film. Basically, it's like a larva stage moment, like a butterfly. This creature comes in. I can't remember exactly where it was. It's been such a long time since I've seen it. Came in. You don't even know what the fuck it is. It looks like a worm. So weird. I was like, oh, this is Mothra. But this worm comes in, and then as the movie progresses, it turns out this worm is going through stages. And all the stages get up to Godzilla, what we know. It's so fucking weird. Never seen it. I've never seen anything like that. But this film is definitely going in the books as one of the most iconic films from Godzilla. I mean, out of all Godzilla... Okay, so if you had to put your Godzilla films that you know and love growing up, which one would you put in order? Like top 3?
top three. I would say this one easily is going at number one.
Okay. Okay.
Number two, I would say Kong versus Godzilla, and three, Godzilla
Ooh.
2000.
Wait. Which Kong versus? Are we talking about the original or are we talking about the remake that just came out?
The remake.
Okay. Okay.
And then, you know what? No, I don't even want to put Godzilla 2000 on there. I would put just regular Godzilla, the 2018 one.
Okay. Okay. I would definitely put this one second, as I feel that Godzilla versus Space Godzilla is still one of my favorites.
It looks cool. I was looking at the picture of it.
I mean, it's good. It's good. If you've never seen it before, it's a great watch. HBO Max has a lot of them, but I'm waiting for them to be able to release that one. And then of course, I'm waiting for them to release Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla from back in the day as well. But I also feel in third is the original OG Godzilla Gojira before they even called it Godzilla for the American version. I think those are going to be my top three. I mean, as a whole, story wise, I think story 8.8 out of 10. What do you think for story?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah,
Okay.
8 out of 10.
Godzilla appearances, I think they did really well. I have to say a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
The way that they introduced him, the way that they ended up doing his CGI, the detailing, the fear. And again, keep in mind, these do feel like old, and I will continue to say it like a fucking record. They do feel like the old Toho films, even though that we're in 2023 and we have new technology. I don't know how they did it. They've definitely been working on this for some time, if anything, but they fucking did it.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because it's blowing other movies that just came out of the fucking water. And it's only here for a weekend. I mean, how much are they at right now? I don't even know how much they're fucking at right now. Let me see. Hold on. Godzilla -1 box office. Okay, where are y'all at right now? Okay, Godzilla -1 box office opening weekend blazes to the top 3 just behind 2 blockbusters. Okay. The movie is projected to earn 10 million domestic box office.
I'm more than sure it's going to surpass. And it
Yeah,
wouldn't surprise me if it surpasses so well they decide to keep it in international theaters for another week.
So. Damn, I hope so, man. I hope so, because it's killing right now. It's killing right now. Okay. Well, any final thoughts on this movie? I think they did everything beautifully. I think it's definitely going in the books for a lot of people. I think if you're a Godzilla fan of some type, you should definitely go see it.
Yes.
For sure. It is a must-see. It is a must-see. But anything else on your end, brother?
I can't wait for a sequel.
I know. I really hope there's a fucking sequel. I really hope there's a sequel. I just want to talk all things Godzilla with you. Did you see the ones on Netflix?
I have not.
You son of a bitch!
They're on my watch list.
If you ever thought that Godzilla was big in any of the movies, you've never seen this one. You've never seen... You gotta watch them. There's 3 parts. They're good. Definitely anime-ish. Definitely futuristic. I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it. It's a great watch. Check them out. All right, bro. Well, until next time, everybody, don't forget to check out all the additional social medias down below. And of course, the last thing that I want y'all to be able to see if you made it this far, because only people, the shell heads that get this far, like to see new things in my collection, and this is definitely one of them. It is the Raphael Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with his bike on sale at Target. I got about 10-12 bucks off of it, so check them out. I love the artwork. I haven't decided if I'm going to open it, but If I do, I'll definitely keep you all invited. That's gonna be on my Instagram. Any plugs for you, bro? You want to throw out any plugs? I don't know what you're doing right now, but
Um,
I'll definitely love to have you back for more Godzilla and shit.
no plugs at the moment, but I did enjoy this. It was a
Yeah, for
fun
sure.
time.
Good, 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 good. All right, guys. Well, y'all have a great day. Rest of your day whenever this ends up. It's most likely going out tomorrow if you guys see this. So, y'all be safe. Take care.